All right, so we're going to play with platforms in this one. You could think of them as foundations too. So if you're creating any kind of architecture, normally it's going to be on some kind of base. And so we're going to start a new scene here, but this one was just looking kind of cool, so I want to kind of show it real quick. But let's go ahead and start a new scene. Create a cube in the middle real quick. Do that cube. All right, and this cube is huge, so I'm going to create a default one. So we're on the same page here. We're using snapping, increment snapping, move, rotate, absolute grid snap. There we go. And so let's say you're creating a platform, 2 meter platform. This is what we got going on. All right. Let's make it more interesting. Let's just turn this into, I'm gonna hold Alt while orbiting so we can snap in. Say, these are 30 centimeter segments like that and like that. Maybe a tiny bit smaller. So your modular pieces don't necessarily have to go to the extents of the boundaries. They don't have to do things like this, right? In this case, this didn't work out too well, but okay, so just a little bit off. So it's like some wood planks, basically, right? And so that in mind, or with that done anyways, let's create another, let's do a plane, 2 meters. I'm just gonna inset it. I can inset it, be great. It's not letting me. Okay, I'm just gonna press E and then S and scale it in. Something like so. Delete the middle, extrude it down. All kinds of problems here apparently. Bottom face is messing. Yeah, it has two faces. So, all right, now we're good. Select all that, extrude it down. That, there we go. It's backwards. Alt in, flip those normals. Got something like that going on. This might be a little bit more in like this. So, modular aspect of this, it needs to go out to the extents maybe here, potentially. This one's actually a little bit unique. It doesn't necessarily have to. What's going to end up happening is that this is going to be too thick. So we could split it down the middle. So that would end up being something like a little bit less than the sides. Because when this, let's say we join it all together, right? We start repeating this out, it's going to be like this, right? And that might be okay. What I want to do quick is create two loop cuts, grab them both, bevel them out like so, and select these ones now. Bevel those again. That's a boundary selection, by the way. So just remember boundary. That one's extremely useful. Control E, bridge edge loops. See what we got going on? Create a little palette basically, or whatever you want to call it, a platform. All right. And so these might need something to hold them up. Obviously, that might be a good thing. And so we're just going to build this extremely fast like this, but like a handrail. Grab that whole section, bring it up. This is a 2 meter section, so that's probably too high. Probably something more like that. Shift tilde key, and, G. See, that looks about right. Like if you're standing next to it, bye. Um, that should be okay. Might have actual when you do your collisions in a game, you might want to actually have something keeping you from falling through. Like the collision box should be big enough to not do that. So otherwise that will happen. But let's do the same thing here real quick. I'm actually going to grab these ones. Just going to do this number. So we should be able to grab here, here, bridge edge loops, grab here, down on Z. We'll just extend it a little bit so it looks something like that. All right, cool. We have a platform started. We want the pivot point in that corner. Okay. A lot of times you might have, like, say, a main post. Make this one kind of big. Stick it there. Keep it center aligned, but have it only go up to there. This post, you can make it run at different amounts. I want this to be like a main one though. Does something like this. And then from this post, we can have little segments that actually hold the other segments up. So you could try doing maybe, really should just create another cube right here. So I'm just going to use the same thing. I separate that face real quick. Use a machine tool, smart face there, but you can just shift D, hit P and separate selection or whatever. So number like that. So you're more or less creating a jungle gym, right? Kind of all works together. So you have this piece that holds up other pieces. If you want it to work in all directions, you do that number, random, that number. Okay. So that might be its own unit. You know that this might be just like your pieces that you're going to use. Like here's your walkway, here's this, and this. So you might want a corner unit as well. You might want some rails on the inside. You might not. I don't know. It's going to be up to you. It depends on where this is going to be positioned and how it's going to work. This particular piece here, what I want to do is rotate it. And so it's going to be kind of challenging actually, because it's probably better to do this manually. Something like this, right? So you could create like a little corner unit here. Let's try creating, we'll do a Shift S cursor to selected so the origin point's there. Let's go ahead and create empty, plain axis. Just like that, we're going to rotate this 45 degrees. Okay, empty. So this one, we can do a mirror. And I drop the empty. Mirror on Y, bisect it. Might work. Flip it. Yeah, we could flip it. And then this is what we get. It might not be the wood pattern you want here, but the rails for the most part look like they're going to work fine. I'm going to apply that mirror, grab all these little sections real quick, and just delete them. Duplicate this out, go into edit mode, select the wood planks again, separate them. So this rail here, the one we just borrowed, get rid of. Let's see how we can do this. I'm going to take a wild guess here that I'm going to separate that as a new object. Probably going to want some support elements like that as well, occasionally. This, to me, this seems like it would be best if place the origin point where the cursor is right now. Rotated it 45 degrees. Did a number like that, perhaps. Then we could just extrude that out for now, but maybe something like that. I don't know. That doesn't seem right either. I don't know the engineering aspect of this, so it's kind of, but it seems like it will work because now when this goes over here, it seems like that'll work out just fine, right? All right. So for simplicity's sake, we're going to take this one. I like the pattern of the wood here. And so we're going to take this and join it to that. This. Okay, yeah. And join it to that one. And get rid of the empty. We're not doing them now. So that's a duplicate. Doesn't matter. So you probably want to name these kinds of things. We'll call this one like port. This is going to be a corner unit. Whatever you want to name it first. This is going to be what is this, 2 meter run? 2 meter. Okay, I probably should teach you the right things. Don't name them just corner unit. Name them like a wood platform, corner 2 meters or something like that, right? So the main thing here is this kit. This is the sub kit, wood platform. If it had a main primary kit, you could say like this is Old West's wood platform or whatever. And then you probably want to name these with capitalization in the right area. I forgot the name of this capitalization, but so this is a so you have like primary kit, secondary kit. You don't always need the primary, but secondary for sure. Wood platform, 2 meter. That P probably should be capitalized as well, so it's easier to read. If it was like a Old West things. Old West pillar. It'd have different um, sizes, so you might do like a wood pillar A in different styles or whatever. So this is a 10 meter, so we might do wood pillar A or 10 meter or 01, 10 meter. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can name it, but we'll just do wood pillar 10 meter. Oh, wood platform needs to go in too. Copy that real quick. Wood platform, pillar, 10 meter. Or you could do like 10H, 10 height, right? 10 meter height. It's just up to you, I guess. I'd probably be okay with 10. Usually it's your primary characteristic, like it's big long run, so the 10 meters makes sense, right? So this would be just Old West platform, wood floor, wood platform, whatever you want to call it, platform. Then support 4M, I guess. I don't know, it's like 4 meters or whatever. So we have all these different components. That's all we need to start making some really crazy platform stuff. We might need um, ones that connect up like this and keep the pieces straight. That could be something you want to do, like, but you might want staircases as well. So we're not going to touch on those, but you want like ramps or staircases, you might take those into consideration. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to attempt do it. Oh, I just kind of did it. Let's do that. Right click join areas. We're going to do a asset browser, current file. These are all named. We can actually We can go ahead and just mark these as assets. So let's do, it's in here somewhere. Asset, mark as asset, bam. And it's going to put it in this file, right? So it's not in your asset browser permanently. We could do a new scene. So we don't mess anything up. We can drag these out. You'll see right now, they're not linked. Might want to link them when you do this the first time. Because if you edit these in edit mode, it'll reflect in the other scene, or at least it should, I think. But so we can snap now, grid snap, rotate, scale, all that fun stuff. And we can start to lay out some platforms, basically. So this is really quite good. Might have wanted to have like a little blank one as well, but like a little one without rails, basically, so we can make a filler section. So you can see here what we could do. Let's go back to the other scene. We'll just duplicate this one out. We're gonna give it the name Old West Platform. 2 meters. I should do like A02. Call that one A2. This one can be called A01. Should update down here. This one has to be marked as an asset. Yeah, so we can go back to the other scene now. This is where things can get kind of crazy because we're pretty much set and ready to go. The origin points just need to be established right off the bat. Like you can't change these once you start instancing things. So just keep that in mind. And we should, oh, you know what? Let's go back real quick. I forgot to delete the rail. That's what I forgot. So that should still update now. The thumbnail won't update. You actually have to probably have to re-render it, but which isn't extremely hard. You press N, select the asset, refresh it. Yeah, I see it updated. Okay, so all right. But we're in this new scene now, so we have this going on. Come in here. We can do things like that, I guess, if we wanted to. The only thing we didn't want for sure to occur was we didn't want, see, obviously that doesn't make sense much because we didn't run it out to do this by default. And so it looks a little bit weird. Let's go back to this one. Let's select all of these. We're just going to scale them a bit. They can still have a little bit of a gap in them, but we're going to get them out to the borders as much as possible. Same with this little section underneath it, which can kind of probably be hard to select. We might want to run this one out a little bit as well. So it's a little bit more squared in nature. It's not going to necessarily line up with the ones that we did earlier, but not perfectly anyways, but it might be a little better. Go fill in some gap on that section now. It's a different type of unit, so we probably should do that. So when it's placed and positioned, it's not like a huge hole where it once was. This one might be not updated. I don't know. It didn't look like it was updated. Should have, but yeah, it did. Okay. Pretty wild. All right, cool. So we got this kind of going on. This could be like one corner section or something. Who knows? And so let's just start laying these out. We do need to press Alt D, and it should link them. But let's make this one more permanent here from the start. See this one, get online. There we go. delete that one real quick. So we should be able to go Alt D and um, place these something like this maybe, right? We'll just move all that over real quick. And we'll use the active element. Is that inside one there? Now we can just pull that up like that super fast. Bring those over. See how you can make platforms? Pretty simple. Yeah, you can make them look different, make them look better. Obviously, if you do one of these, it's not going to do anything unless you do it in edit mode. So you can tighten these up perhaps. But and it just misaligned a little tiny bit. That'll eat up some polygons for sure. Making an environment, but it's there. If you want to use it, you can use it. This is where it gets more fun, I think. These are not set in stone. So if you bring them out, same amount, this direction, you could certainly pull them up like that. Then do the same thing basically. I'm going to grab that whole section again. Bring it up to here. See where that's going. So platforms are fun in my opinion. They're just really simple to mess with. Maybe it stops there. Continue out there. Maybe these two. Another one. If you had a shorter unit, you could use that to stop it there perhaps. It just depends on what's going on. These ones you can run out. So you can So remember that whole thing about modular kits being 3D puzzles? They are. That's what this is. It's a puzzle. You don't even necessarily need to put anything on that, perhaps. But you could if you wanted to. Maybe there's another one that comes out. This and this one. Let's go up. Cool, right? All right, so let's do these two out. We'll do this one over here. Rotate it. Push it back. There. Hopefully it's the same alignment. Didn't mess it up too bad. Yeah, I didn't. All right. So it's not too bad. We could actually delete these, I guess. Push that one forward. Delete that one real quick. Alt D, rotate. D, bring it over. Rotate 90 degrees. Rotate 90 degrees. Round and round we go. Oh, these ones actually, no, not doing those ones like that. We're doing this. Ooh, you know what? No, we're not doing those ones like that either. Bring them back. We need this to stop short. Not go all the way to the, so that one can stop there. This one, we're going to run out. Sure. All the way to the end. Like that. Okay. All of these go out. In here. See what's going on. You need 2 of these real quick. Alt D, just oh, yeah. Moved it the wrong way. Oh. Let's try that again. That Alt D X Shift R. Okay. Might want this is one of those weird areas where you don't need to build a special unit for it, but actually works really well without it. Because you just throw one in there. So this looks a little unnatural, obviously, because, well, needs more of this going on. And also, didn't finish doing all of this nonsense, apparently. So the whole point of the scenes thing is just to keep your assets away from a set dress, if you will, because it's potentially problematic, right? You can see this is 3 units, this is 3 units. It's probably correct. These pillars that would go here probably not going to work out too well. It might, yeah, they probably wouldn't work out too well. Let's just put one up right here. Like making a tree house. What I want to happen is I want this to rotates. It all goes off of this one. I think I got it mostly right, but these are all sticking out slightly, and that's not what I really want. Could delete these, but then there won't be nothing here. So I might want to put them out to the end instead on that end, because it's working fine in this direction. See, it dead ends. Over here it doesn't do that, so we have a problem. Moving all that in that manner is going to be rough, right? I want to make sure we're using active element when we do this. Could select by name, it probably wouldn't hurt, but just gonna suffer through it for a second. Shift it out this way. See how that goes. Okay, so yeah. Could do that. Maybe. A lot of this has to shift too, but it's a lot easier to select it. It's like that. So now this needs to delete it. What did I do here? This needs to be deleted. Nothing's going to go over that. Okay, and then these are okay. It's just 1 unit. Okay, so I see what's going on. Think of it like this. Those are 20 or 2 meters, I think, right? Over. This is way more than 2 meters, so we're off here. And so, what are we off? 4. Can delete that whole section probably. Okay, and then this is still 3 meters, so a little bit much, I think. Needs to be 1 middle or 2. So 2. It's gonna be hard to deselect those two, huh? This won't, if we leave it the way it is, it's not going to be able to rotate. This is going to be an extension when it rotates, it doesn't matter. But these won't line back up with each other, obviously, right? Easiest solution here, obviously, is like delete these two, then push it off backwards again. Something like that. There's only 1 unit missing there. But I don't like the way it looks personally, like so. Could be an issue. Might not be, could be an issue. Who knows? So we'll find out in a second though. These aren't really made for this, but usually it's not a good idea to do like that. So it's probably better to have like 3 than have 2s and whatever else you need. But delete that one. So they're gonna end up intersecting with, which is not what you want. All right. Getting dizzy yet? No, I am. Just trying to see all the little things I might have missed. I can delete those. I don't need. All right, so we're gonna let them intersect, but basically you would have to probably lay these out individually, which kind of sucks, but or make a 3-1 instead of all 4 basically. All right, so all right, so you're probably wondering why I was doing it all like that. Here we go. This is it. Selecting here, and we are going to should be able to mark this as an asset. I have a feeling it's going to do a bunch of them though. I don't like that idea. We'll see. Yeah. Unz Control Z. Don't do that. You can make this as a collection. So we'll do a new collection. We're going to say platform corner large A 01. Okay. So it's all in a collection now, right? Take that, mark it as an asset. There you go. So right click on it, mark it as an asset. Now, if you are working in another scene, boom, just like that. You got a whole collection going. But you see, this is the center of the scene. That didn't work out too well. So we're going to go back for a second, grab all this, make that the active element. I'm not worried about the height. I think the height was probably okay. Yeah, so it starts down there at the bottom. All right, no problems. And so we just go back to scene 3 when we lay it out now. It's just, you see the pivot points there. So if we center it, exact same thing. Okay. So we should be able to Alt D, rotate 90 degrees. Oh, we might want to snap, grid, rotate scale. Every new scene does that, by the way. I reset it. Yeah, they will intersect those boards, but only so much you can do about it. And just like that, it looks like madness, and it kind of is, but think about how much we worked on this. It's really not that bad. You know, UV map a couple pieces, and then before you know it, you have made a crazy wood monstrosity, and then that's it. So platforms are extremely powerful. Don't ever underestimate them. They really do bring a project to some like crazy territory relatively fast. So just keep that in mind. And on a side note, this scene here that I was playing with, think of foundations the same as platforms. You can see it's a very similar process, right? The only difference is you're just doing like big sections that we'll go back to scene 1 here. Just doing like big cubes basically, more or less. You might be placing the pivot point down here. So if this was like a big concrete slab, might have one unit that's like that. These are even easier than what we just did, but they're going to kind of messed it up. But we want it on the grid, so we'll have like a slab, something like that, and then maybe this is a rounded, beveled one. I guess it's not gonna curve at all. Why not? Let's try that again. Merge by distance, apply rotation scale, bevel. Okay. That happens occasionally. What does that though? Not real sure. Yeah, the better shape should. All right, so yeah, that happened. That would do. So I think I hit the wrong button when I'm doing a bevel. It's like a mode or something. I don't know. It's not mode. Inner shape, maybe. Profile type. Z. That's what does it. Yeah. All right. So you gotta hit Z if that ever happens. All right, so that's your slab right there. That's it. Same thing basically. You can make a rounded corner for the platforms as well. Same process. Very simple modular kit stuff right there. So maybe that's all on like a concrete base or something. Yeah, be kind of crazy, right? All right, so anyways, that's it for this one. You would make different kind of elements if you want. Do like just a single section coming out, like little boards that might cross across the way, aesthetic type stuff. But for the functional stuff, it's not much more than this. The only thing is like bridges sometimes can be like custom lengths. It can get a little bit confusing. So using like hanging bridges that have animation and stuff to even more complicated. But for the most part, this should, you should be feeling pretty confident with this at least. Side note, a lot of times you want to probably rotate these 90 degrees and just kind of break up the monotony of things like this usually. Right? So it just looks a little bit more interesting perhaps. Go back to that other scene. All of them don't look so repetitive at least. Might clip if you don't measure things carefully. You got to pay attention to little things like that. So fortunately, we're in. Guess we can't use edit mode on those ones. Let's go to this one. We'll be able to use edit mode on these ones. Yeah, you can just work them out ever so carefully. Tighten them up even. You can also make boards that like interlock in different ways if you really wanted to get complicated with it. I mean, it's entirely up to you if you do that. I don't know why these ones got such big gaps, but they do. All right, so anyways. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'll check you out on the next one, all right? Take care.